150 layoffs and 150 demotions?
I won't know the exact numbers till Monday, so I'll have to wait to verify that. But I'm thinking that we're somewheres around, I won't know the exact number of people that actually lost their jobs. It could be higher, it could be a lot higher, it could be in the 200s. I don't believe it will be, because they're counting, of course, as they should, a bump down is a layoff. And I'm told that the entire package was about 330. So we have 330 people that were affected altogether, and that's a real shame. What a devastation to their families.
You've said in the past that your members have done, between the payroll lags and the furloughs, that you guys have done your lion's share of the work.
I think we have done the lion's share. The lowest paid workers in this county have been the ones at the table the most. We protect our members, their careers, their jobs, their rights, their contract. We have given this county over $50 million since the day we signed the contract in 2008. December 11, 2008, we signed the contract. Not more than 3 months after that, we were reopening it. And we began the lag payroll, then the wage deferrals, and the zero we took in 2008. It's been a constant give back. And that was in order to avoid what happened today. And it happened anyway. Because remember what I said, this is about politics. This is not about good government. This is about bad politics. They have people believing that they saved hundreds of dollars a year in tax increases, which is a misleading statement. I told you, fellas, I told you today, 25 cents per household per week would have saved these jobs and these services. Our residents don't know that. I guarantee you, if you put a poll out there and said, would you pay a quarter a week to retain these services and not ruin 330 lives? I guarantee you 95% of the county residents would vote yes. They don't understand that. They think they're talking about hundreds of dollars a year, which they really can't afford. But yet, when the school taxes go up again this year, and they will, as they do every year, and they'll keep voting it in until they finally get it right, no one's going to complain. It gets done, people mumble, they walk away, okay. When it comes to the county workers, though, and the county services, and Nassau County, we can't seem to get $1 a year increase. This is government. Government is based on taxes. You cannot run a government without revenue generating ideas. And we are trying to create more revenue from within our workforce. But the government officials, the Peter Schmidts, the legislators of this county need to get off that platform and start running this government the way it's supposed to be run. And stop playing politics with people's lives, because that's what the hell they're doing. And the result is what you see today. Yes, ma'am.
What's the average salary of the person that was laid off? Because you're saying 150 were demoted, right? And 150 people just got...
I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
I'm just giving you, it could be a lot higher.
Okay.
I won't know until Monday.
Do you know what the average salary is for the person that got...
Well, the average salary in CSCA is about $58,000 a year. From what I'm told, these are the lower earners. For the most part, they're probably...
It sounds like they're calling the county a bully. It sounds like they're, going after the little guy.
They are going after the little guy, and a lot of them. And that's why there's so many of them. Because the layoffs are done by seniority. They are generally the lower paid workers that get laid off. That's why the incentive made so much sense. Because with the incentive, you lose, people go out that are basically the higher earners. Because they've been here 25, 30 years. And the poor people that just got laid off are going to have to collect unemployment for 99 weeks. That's going to pay, the county's going to pay for that, dollar for dollar. So that could be $40,000 in many instances, because $400 a week, I understand, is the max. For 99 weeks, that's $40,000 that the taxpayers are going to be paying anyway. They didn't save any money. This was a political maneuver, not a governmental maneuver. Trust me when I tell you. If you look at the books next year, you're not going to see a single dime saved in this budget.
Jerry, what about the process today? How was it handled? I hear a lot of complaints that this process was handled very poorly, very impersonally, not a lot of, compassion from supervisors and managers. What are you hearing from your members?
I'm starting to hear that now. That's very unfortunate, because these are their co-workers, and some of these people they've known for many, many years. I guess, management is not worried about how to carry out the process, just carry it out. And that's sad. I mean, look, me as the union president, I've been doing this for 6 years now. I've not only their union rep and their union president, but I've gotten to know many of these people and become friends with them. And it's a personal thing for me. It's a personal thing for my staff here. This is not just peoples and numbers. These are human beings in their lives, and how can you treat people with such disrespect when in fact they're gonna go home and have to tell their families the devastating news? So I think compassion should be brought into the equation. Unfortunately, in government, as you saw in Wisconsin, when they just cut people's livelihoods right out of the ballpark, when you're riding that political platform, I guess compassion and caring doesn't come into the equation. It does on this end, I can tell you right now. This has affected me personally. It will affect me personally for a long time. I'm going to do everything I can to try to get these folks back to work.
I just spoke to a woman. Who got laid off, devastated, and she said she was actually angry with the unions because she feels like she would contribute to healthcare. She would do more givebacks. So what do you say to some of those laid off workers who wanted you to perhaps make more concessions when it comes to areas like
Well,
healthcare?
I understand that. I mean, there's gonna be anger out there. They don't understand what we've been trying to do. They weren't at the negotiations. We did try to make some concessions. We did try to get them to come around and mitigate these layoffs. I had told you in the beginning, they wanted to hear none of it. The only thing that would have stopped this was a 20% permanent pay cut and a 5-year wage freeze. My members would not have voted that in. They would have thrown me out for bringing it back to them. And why would my members be expected to take that kind of sacrifice? They're having enough trouble trying to make ends meet now. So healthcare, one issue, two issues, that's not the problem. The problem is the county tuned us out and said, this is the deal. You either take a 20% pay cut and stay frozen for 5 years, or we're gonna have no choice but to lay you off. That's because they will not raise revenue. And that's it. So that member has a right to be angry. I think it's misdirected, and I think that if she knew or he knew the real truth and the facts of what we did try to give back, we certainly have to come back to the membership for ratification anyway. But I do understand the anger, and I'd be angry too.
What about, is there anything else ongoing in terms of the union and the county? We've talked in the past about still some level of concessions that would involve the pay freeze being lifted, maybe the education stipend being given back. Is that a dead issue at this point?
No, it's not dead. No, it's not dead. We gave them an offer, and we're not gonna bring it to our membership until it's approved by the control board. And in fact, we're still working on some of those ideas by giving the county executive ideas of how to raise more revenue with our workforce. So we're actually part of the solution, not the problem. But we're being treated as we are the problem. And everyone knows it's not the CSCA worker and our contract that's the problem here. It's just that we're the most vulnerable because we're spread out over 40 departments. And we have 800 plus titles here. So we're easy pickings for these folks. So it's unfortunate that they didn't have the courage in this government. They didn't have the courage to govern properly. And instead they think they got away with it easy. We'll see what happens in 2013 if they got away with it easy.
What about the other law enforcement unions? They've been spared. Any resentment, anger that this all falls in the back of civil service and not on law enforcement at all?
I'm not going to say that anybody's been spared. I will say that the timetable that was initially laid out didn't work out, certainly, but like I said before, there is no round two for CSCA as far as we're concerned. And I understand that there's a substantial round two for the other bargaining units. That's something they're going to have to work out with their members and the county. I'm not going to get into their negotiations, but as far as we are concerned, we've met the target. CSCA is done. There is no round two. Our round two is trying to get my members unfrozen.
How many workers took that separation incentive?
I think 100.
So are you hopeful that perhaps some of these laid off workers next week or in a couple weeks might be hired back?
We're going to be trying to do that, absolutely. We believe that in certain areas, certainly in social services, probation, there are areas, and I'm not going to start highlighting which ones we're going after. We're going to try to get the county to start bringing people back based on the incentive, absolutely. We know we've saved at least 150 jobs. We just don't know which jobs, and that's not my determination to make. It's jobs, but that's going to be up to the county executive to decide. That's his purview, that's his right as the executive of this county to rehire. I hope they all get rehired, and we're going to try to do that. And you know, when you lay someone off for economic reasons, that's one thing. County and management has that right. They do not have the right, however, to lay someone off and then give their work to a private contractor. And if we find any of that out, we will be in court and we will be demanding that those people be brought back to work. And I guarantee you, we are gonna find that out in many instances. It's gonna happen, because it's happened already. We already have people that were laid off in June that we know that some of that work has been subbed out, and we're gonna get them people back to work. So that's gonna be a court battle for a while.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.